Welcome to District 6330's Noon Zoom for February 2021. Today, past District Governor Don Moore will introduce us to a team from Western University's Center for Environment and Sustainability, led by Stefan Vachon.
So it gives me great pleasure at this time to introduce some people to you, some very special people from the Western Environment and Sustainability team. I would like to introduce to you this team. Our project coordinator is Jessica Hennessy, Danielle Meyer, Alicia Kimavat, Erica Booty, John Kennedy, Elizabeth Roden, Carly Grant, and of course the MES program director Stefan Vachon. So I'll turn this over to Jessica to start us off and talk about our Environment Day in April, on April 24th.
Thank you so much, Don. And first, I want to thank all of you on behalf of my team for inviting us here today. We are very excited to share ideas for the Earth Day activities. So for today, our presentation are John and Erica will present our planting ideas. Danielle and Carly will present our cleaning ideas. Elizabeth and Alicia will go through our rain ideas, and then I will bring us through our awareness activities.
Thank you, Jessie. Our first proposal is tree planting. So there's nothing more meaningful than planting trees. They're part of our past, our present, and must be kept in our future. They provide an array of well-known environmental, economic, and social benefits to the community, and they add unity. When you plant a tree, you get to watch it grow over the years with your community.
Here we're going to talk about the benefits of trees and their ability to sequester greenhouse gas emissions and provide energy conservation through transpirational cooling, shade, and wind reduction. Psychological well-being studies show exposure to trees improves health. Trees clean the air by absorbing carbon dioxide in their leaves and releasing oxygen we breathe, also filtering out many harmful pollutants from the air. Trees also clean our waterways, acting as a buffer to filter runoff and improve water quality. Forest lands provide areas for rainfall to collect and infiltrate, replenishing groundwater and releasing water slowly to streams. Trees also conserve soil. Tree windbreaks reduce wind and water erosion of valuable topsoil. Healthy soils underpin our region's agriculture productivity, and tree planting can help to conserve this important resource. Help us, wildlife populations, birds, bees, and butterflies, to help mitigate and adapt to climate change. Together, we can strengthen family and community ties and leave a lasting local legacy.
So up next, we're going to have a list of tools required and the procedure for the planting event. Tree planting and conserving and enhancing our forests is essential for sustaining the productivity of our landscape, water quality, and a healthy community. They clean the water, the air, conserve the soil, improve human health and many other species, mitigate and adapt to climate change, which is a major problem right now, and improve aesthetics and property value for our communities. So I hope that you can encourage participation in a worthy event and leave a lasting legacy in land stewardship. Up next, we're going to switch gears to talk about the many co-benefits with pollinator gardens. Go ahead and take it away, John.
Thanks, Erica. I love that video. And man, that dog is good looking. So the other side of things that we wanted to look at for Rotary Club to do for Earth Day was pollinator gardens. Now, if you haven't heard of them before, the idea here is to be able to create a slightly more wild garden than you would otherwise normally have, so that bees, butterflies, and other pollinators can then use them as habitats and to be able to get the food that they need to be able to do their job. Unfortunately, you might have heard that there is globally a huge issue going on with insect populations. We are down by about 55%. Jesse, if you could go to the next slide for me. We're down by about 50% globally in insect populations. Butterflies and bees are among some of the ones that are most threatened. And unfortunately, this is expected to only continue as years go on. So doing things like butterfly gardens and pollinator gardens look great, and they're very, very easy to do. It's no different than in planting any other plants. And we have tons of lists available for you guys to make sure that you're using the right plant species that are easily accessible at any garden center. Now, I'm actually it's a great idea, but we have a ton of other ones that we want to be able to go over as well. So I'm going to be able to pass it over to Danielle now, who'll go over the next one.
Great. So the next category of events is Clean It, which includes waste cleanups and invasive species cleanups. So waste cleanups are events that are very straightforward, with a goal to clean up waste in local public spaces while educating members on proper waste disposal, as well as the harms of single-use plastic items and microplastics. So this is an event that has low material cost, can be completed in a variety of natural area types, is family friendly, and can accommodate a group of any size. The results of these events are instant and very rewarding. So if the cleanup is completed on an area of shoreline, the cleanup can be registered with the Great Canadian Shoreline Cleanup, which is run by OceanWise Canada and the World Wildlife Fund. So this will allow all participants to become citizen scientists for the day and contribute to this large effort to collect essential data on Canadian shoreline waste, which is pretty awesome.
The next activity we have established is an invasive species plant cleanup. The goal of this is to remove invasive plant species in public areas or your own backyard and replace them with plants native to your region while raising awareness about the environmental impacts of invasive species. Invasive species are detrimental to the environment because they spread rapidly due to a lack of native competitors, and they use up resources that are essential for native species to survive. A typical cleanup could last between 2 and 6 hours and is a family-friendly activity that would be accessible to anyone who has the ability to partake in gardening. The activity would improve the health of ecosystems in your local area and letting native wildlife thrive.
The next activity we have is to introduce the rain gardens. Basically, the idea of rain gardens is to soak up water from spaces and to build wildlife homes. Having that soak up the water within 48 hours makes the area mosquito free, and it's also on a cheaper scale of also building a basic landscaping. When they absorb that water, it recharges the groundwater below, which means it helps with less flooding and less erosion. And the plants that you put in can be really hardy and require little to no watering, so the rainwater will do all the work. This also includes rocks, plants, and shrubs, and that will also filter the water, so you'll have cleaner water in your area as well. It's an easy and sustainable way to prevent pollution from entering our waterways and to make something pretty to look at.
And for our awareness activities, our first set of ideas are low cost and low complexity. So the first one is earth balls, and the goal of this is to help our pollinators again. We'll do this by rolling wildflower and herb seeds into a liquefied paper mash that will later be released once the risk of frost has vanished. And you can expect this to cost about 40 cents per participant and take about an hour. The second one is nature activities, and the idea here is to swap out some of our plastic-made art supplies for nature-based crafts. And on our one-page summaries, we've outlined 7 different ideas, but the goal here is just to have fun and be creative with it. And this activity will range anywhere from free to $1 per participant and will last about an hour to an hour and a half. And then for our second set of awareness activity ideas, they're a little bit more complex and to organize and will cost a little bit more, but a movie or documentary night with vegan snacks, the goal here is to raise awareness to an environmental issue and expose new, healthier, and plastic-free snack ideas. Our last idea is a sustainability market or fair, and this will provide an opportunity to showcase local eco-friendly businesses, home artisans, and organizations, but also feel free to customize the event a little bit by hosting maybe an e-waste drop-off by collecting batteries and headphones and properly disposing of these products after the event. And we just want to thank you again for inviting us here and listening to our ideas. And we are very excited to answer any questions you might have at this time.
Are there any questions for the presenters? We'll check the chat and see.
Rick, this is Kirk. I put the link to, so what we've done is we took the amazing information that Stefan's team provided to us, and we put it into a page on the District 6330 website. So all of that information, all of the questions you're asking, recipes for the earth balls or where you can find them or make them, all the information that they've provided and more. So how-to videos, instructions for all sorts of things are all in that link that I posted there. I'll post it again just because it's already gotten shot up there a little bit with the questions coming in, but feel free to check out that website, and it's got, I think, pretty much everything you could ask, but we're also certainly happy to connect with Jessica and Stefan and the team if you have other questions as well.
Okay, thank you, Kirk. I want to emphasize with our Rotary participants from around our district and our various clubs that this is one of District Governor David's principal district conference activities, and it's going to be held on Saturday, April the 24th, and we want to see if we can't get every club undertaking at least one environment-related activity. So our area governors or assistant governors will also be in touch with you to encourage you to make a selection. Now, it's my pleasure to thank Jessica and her team, Erica Booty, John Kennedy, Alicia Kimavat, Carly Grant, Elizabeth Roden, and Danielle Meyer for coming up and designing these programs for us. It was with the assistance and direction of Dr. Vanchon, who was contacted by a Rotarian in our club, Howard Shears, to see whether he and his students would be able to assist us in coming up with enjoyable, interesting, and challenging activities to demonstrate our participation in Environment Day. And I might add that that day will also be going on with all of the Great Lakes bordering districts in Rotary. All of the district governors that border on Great Lakes have got together and have decided that they will run this Environment Day, given that we're in a COVID pandemic environment and our ability to get together and do things that we would normally do has been significantly limited. So again, thank you very much, Dr. Vanchon. Thank you very much, students. We really appreciate your contribution. Thank you.
So what you'll want to do is go to our district website, so rotary6330.org, okay? And when you're there, under the call to action tab, you'll see that we have Environment Day. So if you click Environment Day, all of the different projects that the group spoke about earlier are listed there. It also talks a little bit about why we're doing this, because the Rotary Foundation has made the environment, or supporting the environment, one of their areas of focus, sort of officially effective July 1st of this year. But what we have is images of each one. And then underneath that, we've tried to do a summary chart so that you can, if you're saying to yourself, okay, my club is maybe a little bit older, we don't want anything too labor intensive, and we need it in maybe a mid price range, you can sort of quickly look at the type of activity that's the most appropriate for your club, versus you say, well, we're a young club and we're going to bring our kids and, get them bending and doing all the lifting and whatnot. Then, you can see a project that's a little bit more labor intensive, and maybe you plan on doing some fundraising for it. So you can go for a project that costs a little bit more. So that table's there. And then what you'll notice is that there's a link to each one of those. So when you want more details, you just click on the link, okay? Or you can just click on that button there and it will give you information on that piece. So if I want to know more about pollinator gardens, I just click on that link and it takes me to a page all about pollinator or butterfly gardens. So what are they? Why would you plant this? What are the mechanics of it? So what do I do? Kind of what's the step-by-step? And then at the bottom, it gives you some additional resources that have been provided by Stefan and his team. So videos on how to plant a pollinator garden, how to plant a butterfly garden, and then other links as well. And then at the bottom, we have pictures of some that have been done in the past. And then the links again to each one of those projects. So you get to the end of pollinator gardens and you look and you go, oh, that looks like a lot of work. Maybe interested, but I'd actually like to learn a little bit more about that movie night they were talking about, or earth balls. You can go ahead and just click that and that will take you to the earth balls page, earth bombs page, and you can read more about that. If I jump back to the main Environment Day page, Jim, you had mentioned registering for your event. So when your club knows what project or projects you want to do, it would be great if you can let us know so that we can kind of coordinate efforts and kind of see what impact we're making on a district level. And the way you can do that is by going right below the table, clicking on this form here. Okay, there's a little link, clicking on that form and completing it. It's pretty short. It's just a quick Google form, but it lets us know what your club is doing, which projects you're participating in, and also if you have any questions or need any further support from us. So you're saying we want to do a pollinator garden, but we have some questions like, we want to know we want to get native species. What should we be using? And you can submit that, and then your AG can get in touch with you to follow up. And then finally, we also have some general tips about promoting your project or event, and these apply to all of them. So it talks about taking good photos, it talks about sharing it on social media and around your community, and getting good publicity and exposure for your events. So certainly not everything is there, but a good chunk of information that we think you'll find helpful for the event we have tried to provide. And if you have any questions, at the bottom, you can contact rotary6330@gmail.com, and we will be able to connect with you and answer whatever questions you may have.
If I might add that these are 8 projects that clubs can choose from if they wish, but that doesn't exclude the club deciding they want to do a different project altogether. So that they might want to do something altogether different as it relates to the environment, and we encourage that as well. So that they shouldn't feel that they're sort of chained to the list of 8. We thought we'd help them by giving them some ideas and a variety, but the whole concept is to get our clubs out on that day participating in some kind of beneficial environmental activity.
A big shout out to the Western team. Really proud that we were able to include you not only in today's presentation, but in planning our Environment Day. I think Kirk has done a great job with your help of pulling together a very informative opportunity for everybody to be involved. I saw one question come up in the Q&A. What happens if we want to do this on our own personal property? As Rick Coates said, you can do whatever you want. And I think on our own personal properties, creating and improving our environment is a great way to start. Thank you for everything you do for Rotary, and have a great day.